This is it.
This is a complete waste of time.
Do you remember how Tony Stark graduated college when he was a teenager?
Yeah, and I remember that you haven't told me about Thor yet.
Well, this story is about some other smart kids. This story is called Real Genius. So we meet this doctor, Jerry Hathaway, and he's working with the government to build a weapon for the military using lasers.
Anything I should know about, boys?
But the government moved up their timetable, and now he's only got 4 months to build it instead of 18.
That's impossible.
But I'm not sure who they're going to turn the project over to, though.
Oh, really? Who?
But I'm sure they can find somebody. The problem is, he's been having his students build the thing for him, and he's using the funds to fix up his house.
Fraud is a felony.
Why doesn't he just make it like they hired him to do?
Well, he's not as smart as he lets on, and he relies on making other people feel stupid so he can feel better about himself.
Compared to you, most people have the IQ of a carrot. We're different than most people, Mitch. Better.
He even hosts a science TV show to get the public to think he's smart by default. He's kind of like a pompous Mr. Wizard that doesn't know how to do any fun experiments.
The colon. What does it look like?
But Jerry's team...
You don't get to use my first name.
Sorry, but Hathaway's team is stuck, and he doesn't know how to get any of the stuff to work, so they get desperate and recruit a 15-year-old kid out of high school. We see Bill Nye the Science Jerk show up to a high school science fair, like most local celebrities do.
What is Mr. Einstein really like?
Dead.
And he's there to tell this kid Mitch that he's the first student ever to be accepted midterm to Pacific Tech, and to blow off some of his fans.
I tell you, is Mitch by any chance adopted?
Why, no.
It's amazing.
Mitch is excited to work on the project because he also gets to work with his personal hero, Chris Knight, who is also a kid genius.
You are Chris Knight, aren't you?
I hope so. I'm wearing his underwear.
Chris is going to be his new roommate, and apparently so is some weird guy who lives in their closet.
He lives in a closet?
Yeah, this guy Laszlo, he was actually the youngest person that the college ever admitted.
Smarter than you and me put together.
But he went a little cuckoo when he found out that he was building weapons that were killing people.
Effective immediately, I am shutting down the weapons manufacturing division of Stark International.
And now he's living in the closet?
Technically the steam tunnel's under the college. The door is just in their closet. Anyway, Chris had a long talk with this guy, and he doesn't want to go crazy, so he acts crazy, so he won't go crazy.
Now you try it. I didn't want you guys to think I was stuffy, no fun. All brain, no penis.
Dr. Hathaway puts Mitch in charge of the project, hoping that he'll be able to fix any issues that they have. And this really upsets this guy Kent.
This is Ken. This is what happens to people when they get too sexually frustrated.
Who's a complete suck-up.
Anything, Jerry.
So he's a teacher's pet.
Well, if the pet belonged to a girlfriend and you're only putting up with it because you like her,
Damn it, don't touch other people's things.
then yeah, you could call him a teacher's pet.
I've done everything you ever asked me to.
Well, because Kent didn't get put in charge of the project because he doesn't know anything about lasers, he's mean to Mitch.
This should keep you busy for a while. This plus your regular class load should turn your brains to tapioca in less than a month.
And after a few weeks, Mitch finds out that he's the only one taking anything seriously.
Will you stop it? I'm serious.
Okay, I'm serious too.
He's constantly the only one in the lab or even in class. Chris goes over to Dr. Hathaway's house and finds out that he hates two things: dogs and popcorn.
What's that smell?
Must be the dog.
That's popcorn.
Yes, sir, I know.
Get it away from me. I can't stand popcorn. I hate popcorn.
That man has no wiener.
You're not the only one to say that about him. Hathaway tells Chris that he wants the laser to have more power, and he won't let him graduate if they don't get it.
This is not good.
So he needs to spend more time in the lab to graduate.
Look, I want to start seeing a lot more of you in the lab.
Fine. I'll gain weight.
But instead, he rebels against Hathaway by throwing a party.
Given the type of people you are and the environment you're in, you have to admit the strong probability that this may be the only chance you will ever have in your entire lives to have sex.
He drags Mitch across campus to a pool party, but Mitch isn't interested.
Being snubbed by beauticians is not my idea of relaxing.
Student beauticians.
He actually already has a crush on this girl Jordan who lives in their dorm, and she's a little different.
Oh, hi, good morning. I thought I saw you come in here. We met last night. Remember, I had the sled with me? I'm Jordan. Oh, here, I made you a sweater.
But Kent's a little tattletale, and he runs to Hathaway's low-budget Neil deGrasse Tyson TV set and rats them out.
You both make me sick.
Kent!
What? Yes. Oh.
Mitch gets in trouble, gets really upset, and calls his mom. Kent records the phone call of him crying to his parents and plays it in the cafeteria.
Oh, Kent, that is so unfair. And we were going to make you king of the winter carnival.
And this really embarrasses Mitch.
That doesn't sound like Mama's little soldier.
He wants to leave school, but Chris convinces him that he needs to get revenge against Kent.
First thing you should do is get even with Kent. It's a moral imperative.
And they decide to mess with his car because he's got vanity plates.
Kent puts his name on his license plate.
My mother does the same thing with my underwear.
Your mother puts license plates in your underwear?
And what do we remember about people with vanity plates?
They're dipshits.
That's right.
Ken, you know you're not supposed to park that on campus.
Hathaway is meeting with the military guys, and the colonel's daughter opens the door for Chris. And I think she's only there because there aren't enough girls in this story.
Listen, Jerry asked me to drop by. What did he ask you to do?
But because Chris isn't taking the threat seriously, Hathaway then takes away the job that he got for Chris and gives it to Kent.
You are no longer of any use to me.
An interesting way to open up a conversation.
But how could Kent do a job with lasers if he doesn't know anything about them?
Well, we're assuming the job is about lasers. But he still had to interview for the spot, and they want him. So I'm not sure how Hathaway can just trade students.
But they said he was one of the 10 greatest minds.
Someday I hope to be 2 of them.
Why would they pass that up for Kent?
Shut up. Mitch convinces Chris to get even with Hathaway by finishing the lasers.
I mean, you just can't leave. You owe me $10.
Because we all know that giving people exactly what they want is the best revenge.
That's a good point.
Laszlo wants to help him pass Hathaway's class when he's not busy entering the Frito-Lay sweepstakes.
I should win 32.6% of the prizes, including the car.
Mitch goes to his room to find the woman from Darlington hiding in the dark, and she wants to help Mitch relax from studying, which is illegal.
Why is it illegal?
I'm 15.
I've been waiting 3 years for this.
I'm just a kid.
Mitch leaves to go see Jordan,
That's great.
and has her commit that crime instead.
How many times?
So, you're the new stud, are you?
How do you mean?
Can you hammer a 6-inch spike through a board with your penis?
Why?
A girl's gotta have her standards.
With finals coming up, they spend all their time either in the lab or studying.
No!
Mitch, was it a dream where you see yourself standing in sort of sun god robes on a pyramid with 1,000 naked women screaming and throwing little pickles at you? Why am I the only person that has that dream?
Even though Kent has everything he wants, he still sabotages the laser because he's a dipshit.
Do you mind if I name my first child after you? Dipshit Knight has a nice ring to it.
Chris goes back to test the laser, and it blows up. Kent lets Chris know that it was him, and this really pisses Chris off.
You unbelievable bastard.
Why didn't they tell on Kent? He ruined it.
Well, Kent finished his tracking system,
Look! Look!
and he doesn't know how important the deadline is for Hathaway.
Well, I didn't know.
He's just trying to keep Chris from graduating. Plus, snitches get stitches.
You're at a party with girls.
Don't eat that. Don't you know that eating that stuff can give you very large breasts? Oh my God! I'm too late.
But it's actually a good thing, because while he's mad, he figures out the power problem.
What about that time I found you naked with that bowl of Jell-O?
You did not.
This is true.
I was hot and I was hungry.
It's beautiful. He's not in the toilet. I'm gonna freeze it.
He runs to tell Hathaway he solved it, and we can see that the Colonel's daughter isn't very secretive.
So you'll hammer later?
I mean, it could have been her dad at the door.
She happens to be my daughter.
Anyway, they test it, and it goes so well that Hathaway passes Chris and gives him the job back.
You know, you'll rue the day.
Rue the day? Who talks like that?
And thank God they were on the second floor, because that beam goes really far. Laszlo meets them and questions why Hathaway wants the laser. They discover it was built for the military to assassinate people for the government.
So it's both immoral and unethical.
Yes.
When did we get it?
They rush back to the lab to find it's gone, and Kent's tracking system is gone too. They hook up a radio antenna to Kent's braces, and this allows them to talk to him while he thinks that he's talking to God.
It goes from God to Jerry to me. Get it?
How do they make him think it's God?
Stop playing with yourself.
It is God.
They find out there's going to be a test of the laser, and they decide to sabotage it.
You've got to get even with Jerry Hathaway. It's a moral imperative.
They sneak onto the base and find the plane the laser's on. They need to hack into the system and reroute the jet to fire at a new target.
It's a laser beam, bozo! Follow it. It's a surprise.
Hathaway and the military guys are coming, but they're not done yet. Hathaway finds a microchip that they dropped, but won't say anything because he has no idea where it came from, and he doesn't want to look stupid.
Have you been touching yourself?
Yes. I mean, no.
Jesus tells Kent to go to Hathaway's house in the morning, but not to go in. They bring the dean
I think the young people enjoy it when I get down verbally, don't you?
and a congressman to let them know what Hathaway's been up to. Ken tells Jesus to go to hell,
Now, you listen to me, Jesus.
and he goes inside anyway.
Okay, God. Let me have it.
Jesus replies by microwaving some popcorn and using it to try to murder Kent. And the popcorn shows us how bad of a construction company Hathaway hired. But I can't imagine why they would do a bad job.
What are you looking at? You're laborers. You're supposed to be laboring. That's what you get for not having an education.
And this all somehow takes place on the same day of the Frito-Lay sweepstakes. Laszlo either picked up all of his stuff before and never mentioned winning, or they had the drawing in Europe and he picked his stuff up before 7 a.m. on a Saturday. He also has Sherry with him, and apparently they're in love now.
Pardon?
Maybe they met after Mitch thought she was creepy, but I think she's just after his potato chip money. And I'm pretty sure she killed Professor Hostetler.
Old Professor Hostetler? Isn't he dead?
He is now.
So everyone is happy, except Hathaway, whose house just got destroyed, and these children when they either cut themselves on broken glass in the popcorn or eat it later.
Wouldn't they get in trouble for blowing up a house?
Well, they did uncover an assassination plot, fraud, and maybe possibly stopped a war. That's probably why they called the congressman, who for some reason was already in a suit that early in the morning.
I think they're gonna be in big trouble.
I like to think that they got government jobs to keep them quiet. And maybe Chris becomes a spy with a code name like Nick Rivers or something. But who knows, they could just be the next targets for the laser when it's fixed.
I was thinking of the immortal words of Socrates, who said,
Subscribe to this channel.
Hello? Hello, Jesus. You hung up.
Okay, I'll see you later. Okay, bye.